Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening, everyone. A woman is in hospital after being pinned under a car that crashed through a Kingston doctor's surgery. It's believed a car travelling at speed rammed into parked vehicles. Police amazed more people weren't seriously injured.
A quiet Tuesday afternoon turned on its head for patients and staff at this doctor's surgery.
The driver of the vehicle certainly shaken up, as is everybody else here at the scene. It's a highly unusual thing.
Emergency services racing to the Kingborough Medical Centre at Kingston just after 1:30. Police say a silver four-wheel drive drove 20 metres across his car park before smashing into a parked car.
That parked vehicle has then gone into the medical practice, and we've had a person trapped by that vehicle when it went into the medical practice.
Witnesses say it was a confronting scene.
The cars are already in the shop front, people stuck in the car.
In a delicate process, the pinned woman was freed after 25 minutes. She was raced to hospital with serious injuries and is in a stable condition. The driver of this vehicle was treated at the scene and is assisting police. Remarkably, despite the damage, no other injuries were reported.
For an area that's heavily trafficked by pedestrians, and this time of the day, we were very fortunate to only have one injured person.
This woman's mother-in-law was in a nearby business when the crash occurred.
No sooner did she get in than they were telling everyone that they have to evacuate the vicinity.
The damage to the building is being assessed. Police believe speed is a factor.
So as you can imagine, there's been a fair bit of speed to cause a parked vehicle to penetrate into the building.
Pedestrians and nearby businesses praise for their response.
Some of the businesses around here were walking over a trolley with water, bottles of water, handing them out to emergency services. From a community perspective, this was a good response.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
Attorney General Guy Barnett has abandoned plans to suspend a sitting judge despite recalling Parliament to do so. The move branded a shambles and a cluster fiasco as MPs were left in the dark for most of the day.
Calling Parliament back to suspend a judge was an unprecedented move. And before the day had begun, the Attorney-General thrust the House into chaos.
I have this morning received advice in relation to this important matter.
Looking to suspend the day's proceedings for an urgent MP briefing, amid fears suspending Justice Gregory Geeson could be unconstitutional. Shot down by an opposition and crossbench who found out just minutes earlier.
What a shambles. They've recalled the Parliament for us to sit for, less than a minute, and they're about to adjourn it.
It is a cluster fiasco, what has happened. It is the most unbelievable mess.
The Attorney-General later revealing plans to suspend Justice Geeson have been parked, despite being confident it's constitutionally sound. The judge has pled not guilty to assault and emotional abuse charges.
In light of the written undertaking, I am reassured that he will remain on leave while the charges are resolved.
I think it started with a lack of caution, and I think as the issues have progressed, the government has seen the light.
Confused Upper House members waited around all day with no communication, taking to Twitter to slam breathtaking disrespect, calling the government a mess. This follows the attorney also dropping plans for a commission of inquiry into Justice Geeson, something Labor now wants.
I want to know exactly what happened with the political interference, what this Attorney-General did.
Shame on you. Shame on you in terms of the reputation of the court, Mr Speaker. You are reaching in.
The government now licking its wounds.
On a delicate matter where the government has not sought any political opportunity but has wanted to act honourably.
What will the next scandal be? Who will defect next? What mess will they dish up for us next?
For more on what was a rollercoaster day in Parliament, we're joined by state political reporter Josh Duggan. Josh, it's not over yet.
Kim, they still haven't begun question time in the lower house, which is normally the very first order of business. Labor has just now successfully moved to recall the head of the state service and the Premier to face a commission of inquiry scrutiny hearing, unsatisfied with the evidence that they gave last week. This has been one of the most chaotic parliamentary days in recent memory, where members, and it appeared even the government themselves at times, were unsure what was going on. And after all that, actually didn't debate the motion that everyone was brought back in the first place to debate. The government did survive 2 explosive motions from Labor though, one to bring Parliament back tomorrow and another to cut the summer break short. That's certainly a very dim silver lining though, Kim.
Okay, thank you, Josh. Sounds like quite the day and still ongoing. Well, to more local news, and a house fire has sent ash billowing across a Launceston suburb this afternoon. Crews were called to the Eardley Street blaze just after 1 o'clock, finding smoke coming out of the roof. Part of the road was closed for several hours as firefighters worked to bring the fire under control. Clarence City Council has voted to endorse a proposal for an AFL High Performance Centre to be constructed at Charles Hand Park, with a second oval in the Rosny Parklands. Councillors at last night's meeting highlighted the many benefits it would bring for local schools, businesses and community groups.
We're going to deliver the High Performance Centre in our city. We will see the $70 million investment that will deliver significant economic and social benefits to our community.
Meanwhile, despite mixed votes, Council will also push forward with the plans for the Skylands development. It's back to the future for the Tasmanian Farmers and Graziers Association, leaving the city to move into a brand new office inside the historic Longford Tabernacle. The refurbished building officially opened today by Beauty Point's Sandy Gibson. His great-great-grandmother laid the Tabernacle's foundation stone back in 1880.
We're coming back to a rural area where we should be. We should be immersed in the rural areas. This is a place where we can be seen, heard and acted upon.
It comes as the Lower House approved a motion by Independent MP John Tucker calling for 24-hour video surveillance in abattoirs in the wake of last week's animal cruelty scandal.
TFGA are very, very strong. We want to have CCTV camera footage 24 hours a day. We want those tapes kept for at least 6 months. We want more training. We want snap audits. We want this whole industry cleaned up as quickly as possible.
It's hoped the regulation will help save the TQM abattoirs export licence. The City of Hobart has pulled the plug on its warm water pool project at the Doone Kennedy Aquatic Centre. The decision made at last night's council meeting follows a cost blowout with a $7 million funding hole identified earlier this year. Council says it will look at other funding support from all levels of government and hopes to have a positive outcome in the future. A summer safety campaign is hoping to reel in the number of people who choose to break the law on our waterways. Marine Police joining the call as it prepares for one of its busiest Christmas seasons, targeting all those risking their lives and the lives of others.
These water safety groups have a long wish list as we paddle towards the warmer months.
It's just a matter of taking the time to make sure that you've got your safety gear, that your life jackets have been serviced, that you've got fuel in the boat, that the bung is in.
A new summer safety campaign called Be Boatwise has docked, calling on boating enthusiasts to make smart decisions, check weather conditions and wear life jackets on our unpredictable waters.
The number of inflatable life jackets we're seeing out there, probably 90,000 in Tasmania. And we know that only about 3,000 are properly serviced.
Marine Police are also gearing up for a big few months, planning to reel in anyone not obeying the rules.
A police vessel would pull up next to your boat. They're looking to check on the skipper's qualifications to make sure they're licensed. We're now going to be looking at fish sizes as well.
The mast group says there's a particular age bracket in their sights.
We're seeing a lot of people over 65 losing their life in boating accidents, and that's one of the core stories this year.
While there's been a 29% decrease in drowning deaths across our state over the past 2 decades, that number is yet to hit zero. The campaign hoping to encourage all to get home safely when it hits our screens, radios and social media from Thursday.
Most importantly, we want people to get out on the water, have a great day on the water, have fun and come back safely to their family and loved ones.
Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmania News.
A challenging new mountain bike trail officially opened this morning, with dozens taking to the Clarence Mountain Bike Park to try out the new loop. As the sport gains in popularity, it's hoped more locals will decide to ride tracks closer to home.
A lot of the people from Hobart always drive away to ride somewhere else. Not anymore.
Since it's been open, we've seen thousands of people already enjoy the facilities here. So this is a boon for tourism, it's a boon for Clarence, and it's a fantastic partnership.
Clarence City Council says it's keen to see more projects like this in the future. Tasmania's art culture is thriving, with QV Mag welcoming its highest number of annual visitors in more than a century. The bumper year credited to world-class exhibitions making a stop in the Apple Isle and a celebration of local talent.
A love and passion for art shared far and wide. Launceston's QV Mag report card is in, smashing 130 years worth of visitor records.
With over 158,000 visitors from throughout the world.
The museum giving itself the brush of approval, celebrating a 62% uptick on the previous year.
Really visual, impactful point on the map when it comes to artistic experiences is really resonating.
The bumper season unveiling 43 exhibitions across the last financial year, from the fascinating world of the skies above to the weird, wild and wacky wetlands, each taking on their own unique spin, offering something for everyone.
The diversity of the exhibitions we put on offer has a big part to play. We cater for all ages, from children in primary school right through to sort of, us older generation.
The Archie 100 has been given an honourable mention for this year's star of the show.
Through that we had 16,000 odd visitors from around Australia and a few overseas, and generated around $5 million.
Creating the perfect collection is no accidental feature, with the flow-on effects going beyond the museum doors.
To see the constant flow and the changes throughout curation is awesome for our economy.
An artistic year for the record books. Victoria Easto, 7 Tasmania News.
A new street art project is giving a toilet block in a busy shopping precinct a much welcomed facelift. The community-led work centres around nature and hopes to deter graffiti and tagging around the Kings Meadows facility.
I think this is the start of a long line of projects based around community development, giving people a sense of ownership over space and incorporating imagery into the public that makes people feel better.
The community have after some physical action when it comes to the approach to graffiti, so we thought what a great proactive way to get in front of and to incorporate those who want to express themselves.
The Launceston City Council is backing similar projects, hoping to splash some colour around the municipality. Tasmanian small businesses can now access support which will help them avoid falling victim to hacking Grinches over the festive period. The federal government is training up to 50,000 cyber wardens as part of a $23 million program. The program provides staff with the skills to make their businesses safe and protect them from scammers and their tricks.
These can be fatal to some small businesses, but for those that it isn't, it still has a really big impact. We're talking about an average of $46,000 per impact.
We're not experts when it comes to that, and so we can be easily fooled. Let's not be easily fooled, and so we need to reach out. There is never too much information you can get.
Small businesses can sign up through the Cyber Wardens website.
Hurricanes quick. Riley Meredith's season is on shaky ground, leaving the field injured in last night's 6-wicket loss to the Sixers. A tough pitch at UTAS Stadium not helping the Canes' top order, Sydney sending them all back to the stands quite cheaply. The Purple Army filling the stands at UTAS would have been hoping for fireworks, but the Hurricanes' order was struggling to launch. Mired down by a soft pitch, making life behind the crease very difficult indeed, as ball after ball was plucked out of the sky by a man in pink.
It's falling apart for Hobart.
Caleb Jewell, top scorer for the hosts, 42 off 24 balls.
Like a couple of things went my way early, where they probably haven't been recently, so that was nice. It was a shame not to, kick on there. It was probably my job to do that and get us to a score.
Troubles mounting early in Sydney's innings, losing quick Riley Meredith in his first game since September after a side strain in the Marsh Cup. Limping from the field, clutching his side again. Scans tomorrow will confirm the damage.
It's a real shame for him. He hasn't had much luck recently, so hopefully it's not too bad and we can get him out as quickly as we can.
In his first match for Hobart, Corey Anderson coming to the rescue with 2 wickets for 10. They did manage to keep the Sixers chasing until the last over, but the season opener has left the Canes with plenty of food for thought before they play the Scorchers Wednesday next week.
Still got a bit of time to galvanise as a group and get away and Yesterday was the first time we sort of all met each other, so it's going to be good to have a few days to get to know each other and hit the ground running in Perth.
A century from heavy hitter Nicola Carey has set the Tigers up nicely in the WNCL, smashing 113 off 125 balls against South Australia at Blunsdon Arena. Naomi Stalenberg's out, seemingly opening the floodgates late this afternoon. Tassie losing 5 wickets in 7 overs. Still keeping the runs ticking over though, 8 for 274 after 50 overs. The hosts then quick to claim their first scalp a short time ago. After 9 overs, the Scorpions are trailing by 240 runs with 8 wickets in hand. Age shall not weary the great Lauren Jackson, who's officially in the mix for her 5th Olympics at age 42. Back on the court after a serious Achilles injury, the Opals legend still needs to prove her fitness to survive the cut. Hobart-born Alana Smith is also in the running for her 2nd Olympics, named alongside Jackson in an extended 20-player squad for next year's Paris qualifiers in Brazil. Aussie tennis ace Alex de Minaur has won the John Newcombe medal, joining Ash Barty, Sam Stosur and Dylan Alcott as multiple winners. His sights now set on cracking the top 10.
A lot of work to be done, so hopefully I can knuckle down, have a good start to the Australian summer and put myself in a good position to hopefully break that barrier.
De Minaur's career best year, including victory in Mexico, a Masters 1000 final in Toronto and leading Australia to the Davis Cup final. Also honoured on the night, Hobart's Brendan Oliver Ewan receiving the Volunteer Achievement Award for his work starting Tasmania's first LGBT tennis club.
We established the club as an opportunity for people from our community who often don't get accepted in sport, who face discrimination, to come together and be accepted and included.
The judges noting his tireless work to break down barriers and promote tennis as an inclusive sport. Georgia Baker will ride in an all-Australian squad at next month's Tour Down Under in South Australia. The Launceston cyclist will join 4 others competing for the Alula Jayco team. Baker finished 55th in the 23 edition of the race, highlighted by finishing 3rd in Stage 1.
Good evening. Hope you enjoyed the day today. Hobart reached 23 and Launceston 28. Low 20s for Devonport and Burnie. 31 at Bushy Park was where things really warmed up. Campania and Ouse reached 29. Grove 28. Strawn and Flinders Island 26. Friendly Beaches 25. And Lyawini 2 overnight to a high of 24. King Island and St Helens 23. Patches of multi-level cloud over northern Tasmania today, but mostly cloud-free across the state. A trough and low has cloud over southern South Australia. A few afternoon storms fired off over the top end and, of course, all the action there with tropical cyclone Jasper. Tomorrow, a high moves over the Tasman Sea. That weakening low to our west extends a trough a long way to the north and around the west of the nation. The early winds from the east-northeast will become northeasterly at 15 to 25 knots during the afternoon before a northwesterly turn over western waters later. We have a strong wind warning from Wineglass Bay to southeast Cape and from Sandy Cape to Stanley. Midweek weather for Hobart, a late shower moving in, 29 the top and 31 for Geeveston. A shower or two and a possible storm later for Bothwell, 31 the high. Launceston reaching 30 with a shower or two, 24 for Devonport and 29 for Cressy, all with a little bit of wet weather. Burnie, a possible storm and 21, Strawn 28 and 23 the high for Curry with similar forecast, and a shower or two down the east coast, St Helens 24, Swansea and Orford 27. On Thursday, showers contracting to the west in the afternoon after a northern thunderstorm. Fine over the north and northwest on Friday with a few showers around the rest of the state. Another scratchy day on Saturday, partly cloudy over the east, but a few showers possible for the remainder. Sunny and 28 in Perth, a shower in Adelaide, a possible storm for Melbourne with 33 the top. Partly cloudy weather for Sydney and Brisbane and 100% chance of wet weather in Cairns. Sunny over Hobart though, it's 20 degrees in Launceston 25 and partly cloudy also right now in Devonport and 21. Don't know what it is there, Kim, is it? Peony roses on your outfit tonight? And I didn't realise that dress down day was today and not Friday.
Oh, that's rude. Thanks for noticing what I'm wearing for a change. And that is all your news for now. On behalf of the team, thanks for joining us. Good night, everyone.